Hello, David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We have a really neat project. We're calling it, as you can see right here, the Tom Ford Quantum of Solace Harrington Project. Pretty long name for a project, but a very cool project. So obviously Quantum of Solace hit this really great resurgence, probably some of the best Bond clothes in any of the Bond movies, certainly the Craig movies. The Harrington jacket, the blue navy one that he wears towards the end of the movie, has a very soft spot in everybody's heart. There's some exciting news. Now, one thing you need to know before we get into the exciting news is that really we've only seen two Tom Ford Harringtons that were correct out in the wild. And interestingly enough, those two were owned by people that work for the Bond Experience. So you've got Blair Ballard, who still has his production screen-used Tom Ford Navy Harrington. And I had one as well that now resides in another collection. But let's take a look at that screen-used one, the production-made one that I had, just so you could start to see the details, the color, and all those different aspects. Take a look. So very cool. And there's been a lot of close ones out there in the wild as well. There's been some Tom Ford Navy Harringtons that have leather piping. They have a different back to that. None of them were correct. None of them were correct. I mean, people got very close, but none of them were correct because those that you saw were just made for production. But let's face it, we Bond fans are very industrious. One in particular, you know him very well, Simon, took it upon himself to spearhead a project. Yes, it is the Tom Ford Quantum of Solace Harrington project, and is working directly with Tom Ford Milan to actually remake the Tom Ford Harrington, the correct one. And guess what? This very large box is from Milan, and it has the prototype. And we are going to take this puppy out because this is the excitement that builds. Now, mind you, in making a prototype, the nice thing about the prototype is things can be changed. We can compare all the details with the screen accurate one. We can compare all the details with Blair's and even my pictures, which were pretty detailed. But as you can see, nice suitor that they sent it in. This protects it from all the bumps and the bruises. And let's take this out. All right, so here is that beautiful, beautiful dark midnight navy. It's more than navy. It's almost like a midnight, which is why so many people, when the movie came out, thought it was black. But it is midnight with certain lighting. Midnight blue looks very similar to black. So that's why it kind of plays tricks on the eyes. But you can see, even before we put it on the mannequin, zipped up like this, and I don't know if you can pull in, you can't see the zippered teeth. Why? Because this is a hidden placket. The zipper, when you start to unzip it, which I will right now, as everything falls, then you can see the zipper, but it's got that nice hidden zipper. You saw it in the film, you see it here, you certainly saw it on the production-made ones, and there it is again. But let's take this off and put it on our trusty form right here so we can really take a look at it. Before we put it on, let's take a look at the interior. Now, it is a minimal interior. It's got a black lining right here, but it is unlined in most of the rest of the jacket. There is a pocket over here, which is very nice with a little hidden button. And of course, over here, you have the Tom Ford branding with yet another pocket, a smaller pocket down here. That could be for a phone, a watch, etc. And then another pocket here. So there's 3 pockets on the inside, just like the production-made ones. I don't know if you can get this, but there it is. Made in Italy. So a lot of duplications out there, a lot of close twos. I mean, we've been doing this for, since 2008, getting ones from Land's End, Banana Republic, etc. But this, folks, this is the real deal. And there it is. I'm giddy. I'm giddy because I haven't been to this close to the accurate one since I've owned my production one. The weight. Let's talk about the weight. The weight of this material is absolutely perfection. And one of the great things about it is, I'll just kind of read this off to you very quickly, is it's not a twill, and it's a wonderful mixture because it's got a lightweightness to it, but it seems very durable. And that's one of the great things about this Harrington. You can see it's got the tab collar right here that kind of pushes over. But let's talk about the zippers. Now, there's no way you're going to be able to pick this up on film. Apologies. But underneath the zipper is the TF symbol on the zipper pull. And they're on both the zipper pulls. Nice little details like that is what makes this Tom Ford Harrington absolutely amazing. Not to mention a wonderful zipper. The zipper works extremely well. You've got these wonderful pockets over here with, there was a lot of controversy over this when the movie first came out. Obviously, it's got the buttons with the button closure. Now in the film, a lot of people just thought, oh, there's no button closure because it was tucked in. I mean, he was a little bit rough and tumble, but that's to be expected. Let's take a look at the back. So here we go. We've got the different tabs here on the back. It's a 2-button tab to really make it cinched. Very similar to on the cuff. And the cuff itself, little details like this. It's not rounded, it's not sharp, it's kind of a rounded area. It's kind of pulled across, which is a really nice little detail. Again, 2-button, and these buttons are really amazing. Now, I'll tell you, sticklers for detail. Let's pull out for a second. When Simon was working and is working with Tom Ford, the zippers had to be correct. The buttons had to be the same. Even this line across the back, it has a little step to it. It's not just a pure line across the back. It's not just a regular stitch line. It actually has a step. That step had to be there. It wasn't going to do for anything else. So let's zip this up. One of the things that is very interesting is, I don't know if everybody knows this, the Tom Ford Harrington, there were really 2 different sizes, at least we suspect in the film. When he first is talking to Felix on the phone, one of the things he does is he puts on the jacket, and if you remember that part, the jacket seems a little baggy, a little big on him. It really wasn't zippered, if you remember in the bar. And then at the end, when he's talking to, less than talking to Dominic Green, he's fighting him, and even when he's out in the desert, it's sleek. It's a little bit more fitted. So that's going to be important when you think about sizing. And there's going to be very specific sizing, so everybody gets the right size that they want. It's going to be European sizes, like a 48, a 50, etc. You want to make sure that you pick out the size of the scene you want to duplicate. Do you want the one where he's talking to Felix in the bar, or do you want the one towards the end, which is going to be a bit more fitted? I'm going to go for the fitted one. So here it is. I mean, it's very simple. Now, here's kind of the call to action. There are a few more spaces of this project. We've got about 47, 48 people right now. We need 50. We're just 3 or 4 shy, but if you want 10 more people, that's fine too. But it needs to be a minimum of 50 to make this happen. This project will not happen. It will not happen. No one will get these jackets without a minimum of 50 jackets. Like I said, we've got 47, 48 right now that are committed. But this jacket is something that if you want to hop on, what you should do is email david@thebondexperience.com, and I will forward you to the project leader. You can converse, get the information, obviously get the price. And as far as price is concerned, obviously it's going to fluctuate based on the dollar. But from a dollar standpoint, depending if you're in the EU, you obviously are going to have VAT. If you're outside the EU, you don't have VAT, and the dollar is very strong. So use accordingly. Of course, our project leader can tell you all about price, all about delivery, and any other details. But we wanted to give you a sneak peek. We wanted to show you the prototype is phenomenal. I'm going to be talking directly to Simon because once we have enough people, this thing is a go. This is an amazing opportunity for those of you who have to have the absolutely correct piece, almost from a memorabilia, nostalgic collection standpoint. This is the Quantum of Solace Tom Ford Harrington. Lots of duplicates, lots of replicas out there. This is the one. If you're interested, again, email David at thebondexperience.com. I'll forward you to the project leader and you'll be on your way. So this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience with the Tom Ford Quantum of Solace Harrington project. Very exciting. We'll talk to you very soon.